die?
And find something you're passionate about besides Ziggy.
Hey guys. See all my Annalie dolls back there. Oh goodness. Sorry, it was late. I had to do a post, obviously, real quick. Not gonna talk about it because that's not what this live is about, but you can see the community post if you want to. Hey guys. Well, this is right. 2020 was the 911 call, October 2020, and then June of 2021 is obviously Summer's Day. Actually, I'm not talking crap about PG either. I just put that in the title because it was her work, so I just wanted to tag her. I'm just saying what disturbed me was the contents of like what she believed she heard in that call. And when I was watching it back with you guys, I was like, oh my God, it does sound like that, but oh my gosh. Hey, Sandy and Colby, Sherry. Hey, Kathy. Gamer. Okay. PG is just a creator. She was on here yesterday. Prayer Garden. Pulling up my chat because I'm about to play this again so that people that were not here yesterday can know what we're talking about. So why didn't that work? That's weird.
What do y'all think about it?
I told her to upload the this by itself, and I thought she was going to, because I think this is important. Thank you, guys. Oh, you did? We talked about it last night on my live. Hannah, hey, Anastasia. Hey, Randaroo. Chastity. Let's watch this again because this is, you guys, this is highly disturbing. Just a warning, like really, really disturbing. So disturbing that last night was the first night that I've been affected in that way from something I heard on YouTube, like pertaining to this case. It really kept me awake. It's really bad. I'm just saying. I guess I could put in just and let's okay. Yeah. Let's see here. Stop. Sorry, my daughter's talking to me. Okay, I'm gonna play this.
Hear anyone say that, but in this call it sounds like that's what she's saying. My face is effed up. I don't know, but that's what it's sounding like to me. Our mom, help me. She said he's still trying to get her. That's what it sounds like to me. He always tries to hurt Summer. Then why are you staying with him, huh? Why are you staying with him, Candus? If he's always trying to hurt your daughter, why the hell are you there? Right? If he's trying to hurt anybody, why are you there? Now, Sissy is what they called Summer. They called Summer Sissy. And it says, what? Sissy hurts. She's obviously asking someone what Sissy hurts. And Sissy is Summer. I know that for a fact. That was the operator saying, yeah, I'm here. What's going on? That's where he says he tried to, and then listen to this. Somebody says, aren't you wearing panties? What? What is that about? Does anybody need me to play that again? Because I had to play it to myself a few times. Okay. Let's go back. Did anybody ever hear that part? I was like, what? That's exactly what it's saying. It said, aren't you wearing panties? Oh, what? That is crazy, right? She said he's trying to hurt my daughter. And the lady said he's trying to hurt your daughter? Yeah. Yeah. Does anybody need this played again? Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys want it played again. And I'll play it again for you. There you go.
So once again, with Prayer Garden, the link is in the description. This call, we listened to the entirety of it yesterday, which is on Molly Go Whiteley's channel. If one of the mods don't mind dropping her channel, because the whole 28-minute long call, because we wanted to, it had been so long and there's been so many shenanigans with the Wells that, we weren't, many of us weren't 100% positive that this was the same call of the Jose and Don incident. And I'm glad that we listened to the whole thing because my daughter has her friend over. I'm glad we listened to the whole 28-minute call because it was definitely good for a little reminder, and also it really puts things into context. We were able to determine that it was definitely in the October 2020 911 call. This part was, and that call was 28 minutes long. So that gives us an idea of how long it takes law enforcement to get there. They're very far out there. There's not really, anywhere. It takes a long time to get anywhere around there. So yeah. This part is actually pretty far towards the end of the call. It's soon after this that the police show up. And so I think also listening to the whole call too, the whole 8-minute call, which is over on Molly Go Whiteley, is like once again. I think it's actually I don't know if it's uploaded by itself, but I think it's in one of her long lives. And you'll be able to tell by the title which live it is. But we were able, what was I going to say about we were able to tell it was definitely the same day between the Jose and Dawn incident. We were able to see how it played out and how possibly the 911 operator could have possibly missed some of this stuff. I mean, it's really hard to understand them. And the one that says he's trying to R her, that was Candus. She has like a really hard to understand voice. I believe the other lady, I believe is Allie. It's sad. Like, oh, when you hear that little like mommy, oh, it's so cute. And what really bugs me about this and was keeping me awake is, Caitlin, please keep it down. Holy crap, I can't even concentrate. What was keeping me up was not just like the disturbing content of this call. I think it kind of like put some puzzle pieces together for me. I mean, we've heard this before. This isn't new or anything. It's just that nobody thought to like listen to what they were really saying, in the background. This is a 28-minute call that the 911 operator is sitting there, just sitting there because they stay on the phone with you while police are on the way. So, and this happened, when this incident happened, when Summer, is like, mommy, somebody help me. That was already like over 20 minutes into the call, and they had been drunk fighting in the background the whole time. It was just a bunch of drunk talk back and forth, two drunks, like just completely effed up. And so I don't know. I don't really blame the 911 operator because it's really hard to understand. I know her quality of it was probably a little bit better. Like she probably heard a little bit better, but yeah. Hey, Lisa. But did you hear the panties part? Oh my gosh, that part just made me so like. But what really what kept me up, I didn't even finish that, is that it started putting puzzle pieces together. And I started thinking about how it was making more sense. Like with Jose. I want to know the real reason, like, Jose and them came down there. And I truly believe that, and I know some people won't like this, but it's just my opinion. But, I think that Jose was dealing with guilt and shame. That was just too horrific to live his life without being completely effed up. And he couldn't deal with it because you remember he was getting sober. Remember him saying he threw his phone in the ocean? That's odd. Well, I'm glad they did. I'm glad they did think to listen to that part. I know. And actually, Jam, I was thinking last night, I had a moment last night. I was also laying in bed thinking, is it possible, Caitlin? They're being just so ridiculous tonight. See, it just throws me off. So, okay, about Dawn. That's another thing that kept me awake was I was like, oh my gosh, could it possibly be the other way around? Like I always thought, oh, maybe, there was a chance that possibly Dawn was innocent and Candus had just been lying to him. I'm like, I started thinking after listening to that call, I mean, if you listen to the whole 28-minute call, there's a part where Candus breaks down and cries after this Summer incident, after she says he's always trying to hurt Summer stuff. She breaks down and cries there and sits and just like, it was so sad. And it just made me feel like she felt so hopeless and helpless. And I just was like, man, is it possible it could actually be the other way around? That Dawn did something and Candus doesn't know? Because we already know that Candus doesn't she seems to be intellectually we've already learned that she's had learning difficulties, right, as a kid. Besides that, we definitely see how much she relates to teenagers and is almost teenager-like. A lot of people say that. I think that she's really naive. She's highly, highly codependent on Dawn. I mean, she's never worked in her life. She is completely stuck. But the thing is, because I won't say that there is hope, but the addiction is, I think that if she is innocent, I think she's witnessed things that there's no way she'll ever get sober because she wouldn't be able to deal with it sober, I wouldn't think. But that call showed me that she did have like some empathy. I was thinking, and it made me think, oh my gosh, is it really possible that Candus could be completely innocent? Maybe Dawn somehow, like, but then we got, Candus going down, leaving the hill twice. Belt his kneecaps with boot hats. Yeah, it's not at all insult. I'm not at all being insulting. I just don't know how else to explain it. That's probably what the fight about Dawn and Jose was about, right? What was Jose there for? What really, Andrew? Why? What was that trip about? Please be honest. It all ties back. That's probably all when it freaking started. That whole trip down there was probably the beginning of the end. For Summer, or whatever happened to her, whether she's alive or not. It's probably related. Probably part of this ring. Why was Jose left behind not even knowing Candus? I mean, because they were on... These are two... Allie is obviously completely effed up in the head, too. That was her in the background with Candus. She's right there. If this is really what's being said, if we're hearing this correctly and not just, tricking our brains, then that means Allie heard her say that he's trying to R Summer, or some people say they think they hear hurt Summer. And then you hear Allie say something, aren't you wearing panties? Or, you know what I mean? Like, what the hell? Like, panties are supposed to be some kind of protection from SA? Oh, God, it's so gross. That is so sad. That is so fucking sad, dude. It is the most horrible thing listening to that call. It is so sad. That whole call. When you go play that whole 28 minutes, this part's definitely sad. But you could just hear it was like being a fly on the wall. I've always said I'd like to be a fly on the wall, in that household, but do I really? Be careful what you ask for, right? Do I really want to be a fly on that wall and hear what really happened there after hearing that? And that's when 911 was on the phone. I hope that that's the only reason Jose was there. I really do. But I feel like he admitted, he was very open about his past addictions, and past very horrible depression and stuff. Okay. So, and then it's not, I don't feel like it's a coincidence that he unalived himself at the time that he did. It wasn't because he was being harassed on YouTube. I believe it was because of his own demons. He was getting sober and he was having to deal with his own demons that had been suppressed. He had been able to not face, cover with alcohol and what other weird things they were doing over there. It just makes sense. Like this, I liked Jose. I really did. I thought but that doesn't mean he was involved in it, but I think he could have been a witness. I'm just saying I think he witnessed or knew about this, knew that was happening. And I think the guilt from that, I'm not saying he was a participant. Yeah. Yeah. Well, because Samantha, it was like a party. It was a 4-month party. On the phone call, Candus says that he was gone, it was either 3 or 4 months. Just got back a week ago. So, oh, does it? Is my total? Oh, shoot. Okay, thanks. No wonder I thought, okay, yeah, I need to take care of that because that's important. It's October 2020. If my title says 2021, yeah, that's not right. Okay, it's changed. Well, I guess it's not. No, we listened back to the call. Well, I thought it was the night Dawn got home. I did. I thought that also, Moonshine. I was under the impression, I don't know why I thought that. But no, Dawn was there already a week when this incident happened. So he had been around Jose already a week. Yeah, and throwing the phone in the ocean. Like, does anyone know for sure he actually passed away? Well, supposedly, like Chasing Truth talked to somebody or made some call to somewhere. You think Jose left Allie for Candus? I think they were doing a bunch of weird threesome stuff. How much you want to bet? I'm not saying it's weird, but like with them, it's weird. So I'm not dogging anybody's preferences or whatever, do you, boo? But I don't want to, sorry for putting the mental picture, but we've already heard rumors. I think it's pretty much a fact or known fact that didn't they have some kind of, her and Allie have some kind of relationship? She put Ben Hill up for sale. Hey, Joy. I don't know how she would be able to do that. She's not even, she's the wife, but it only has Don's name on the deed. I don't know how that works. I've never. Jose brings summer life for us, and the nickname he gave Half Pint. Candus knew who he was. She was just acting like she didn't remember Jose. And why would she want to act like she didn't remember him? I don't remember if did she deny knowing him at first? I can't remember. There's been so much. But if that's true, that's another red flag, because why would she deny knowing him? What's the big deal? Unless there's something like he did or was a part of that, she doesn't want people to know. I don't know. Neither one could sell the home without each of their signatures. Remember, Dudley said Don told him that Jose had been at the wells wanting to get his drugs, wanting to get his drugs, but the drugs were gone or something like that, and that it was shortly before Summer disappeared. I do remember hearing the rumor that Jose was there right before Summer disappeared. I do, and I've that whole white, what's the type of vehicle? CC. What kind of vehicle are those? CRVs? That some people have said or Fred has said to have seen at the end there near Beach Creek and Ben Hill Road, that was sitting up there pretty much up until the day Summer went missing, except not the day Summer went missing, but it was down there for a few days, and right before, and people had looked it up and looked into it, and Jose used to have a white type of vehicle like that. I never really suspected Jose of anything. I just looked at that as a coincidence. It did make me wonder what he knew. I feel if this is true, then that means, Allie's not being honest. Because she's there during this. So Candus said he was gay, but Allie said he was she was with him. I think Jose was more emotional support for Candus to complain about Dawn. Yep. I think Jose knew. I think they knew Jose was coming, and that's why it was okay for him to stay. Just found it odd that he admitted to doing it with Allie, but not doing it with Candus. Well, Candus is married. You think they all got in just one big pile? Oh my God. Yeah, we do actually need to listen to that interview again. Thanks. I better put Summer Wells. Which one? Hold on. So, which one was?
I just cooked this incredible meal, steakhouse.
Cover that much territory with.
Hey, it's me, your skin. I crave being clear without irritation. CeraVe Acne Cleanser.
All over the place. I remember asking them to use the bathroom, and you would walk a little bit and had to go behind these double dressers that they basically turned into a wall, so you couldn't see someone actually using the toilet. So they had the toilet there and the sink and the shower, which was like a shower stand. And where the shower was, when you looked down, it was supposed to be like a little closet area where they had all their clothes just hung up and things like that. So when they were taking me to where I was gonna sleep, it was downstairs in the cellar. And I was thinking, I don't see no stairs, how the hell am I gonna get down there? And when I looked just behind this counter that they had that basically looked like a bar that they built, there was a hole in the ground, and you just walked down those stairs and you were into the cellar. And when you look to the left was the parents' room. And
now, when you say cellar, do you mean basement?
Yes,
okay,
basically
okay,
that's the basement.
Okay.
So when you walk down those stairs as you're going down through the hole, you would look to the left, and to the left was a big open area. They had a 42-inch TV on a shelf. Their door to access outside into the driveway was there. They had a couch in front of that door, and then their mattress was basically on the floor. They didn't have no bed rails or anything. It was center blocks on the floor, and the mattress was on top of those center blocks.
Whose bed was that?
And then that was the parents' room.
Okay, downstairs.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you say there was a couch in front of the door that goes outside?
Correct. Yes, that was to prevent any of the kids opening and closing that door. When y'all finally contacted me, just going a little ahead, when y'all had contacted me and was telling me everything that's going on, I could clearly remember that, looking at these videos as they were talking with Donnie, and he's like, well, Summer's pretty intelligent. She could have opened that door. No, there is no could have. There is a definite, because she had the consistency of always unlocking the door and walking out whenever they see fit. And this was not just Summer. This was also Waylon and Wyatt as well. So they would just come in and out freely,
So
Candus,
the door did lock.
For them. Excuse me?
The door
You
did
said
lock?
the door does lock, or it did not lock?
No, it did not lock. Something was wrong with the lock. And they couldn't find the key, so they basically had this not a love seat, but the larger one that looked like it was a sofa bed, but it wasn't, and it was blue, and they had that pushed up against the entranceway of the door, and that's where the kids would hang out and sit and watch the TV, watch movies and cartoons and things like that.
Okay,
And
so
then when
the
you look-
couch was inside, right? It wasn't like an out. They didn't.
Yes, no, it was inside of Candus and Donnie's room, but it was pressed up against the wall that literally the door was there.
Okay.
And I slept in the room adjacent to them. And in that room adjacent to them was basically the kids' playroom. And all their toys was in there and stuff. Another thing was when I seen a photo of where they showed how the boys' beds were and things like that. That bed was never there. That bed was the bed I slept in the cellar. It was literally pushed up against the wall, and the rest of the room was the kids' room that had all their toys. And I remember it specifically because the kids would always come downstairs. Hey, Jose, how you doing?
Sorry about the long break there. Well, yeah, that's because before is he talking about the video with Chris McDonough when McDonough was there? I mean, that's because they cleaned it up beforehand, didn't they? Or no, they didn't clean it up before Chris McDonough. They cleaned it up before the Dr. Phil, of course. Oh my gosh, too many skeletons, to be honest. He brought up the couch. Ollie brought up the couch. Where is it, right? I mean, I guess that's something to ask Dawn. Has anybody asked him yet? After that is when CPS told Candus that she had to move the older boys' bunk beds upstairs. Yeah. Makes sense. We rearrange, move things, took things away. Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, what's up? And they would be like, we came to play with our toys. And I would be laying there and I'll be like, go ahead, have at it. Go play with your toys, And Candus would yell from upstairs. That, leave Jose alone. He's trying to get rest and stuff. And I would tell her, don't worry about it. They're kids. Let them play. I really don't care at all whatsoever. So it was basically my room / their playroom, which I never denied them entrance. There was no door to the room. They could just freely walk in.
What was there doors anywhere in anywhere in the house?
Only the doors to get in and out of the home.
Okay, but there was no internal door.
There was an internal door from the first room you entered through the front of the house to get into the kitchen. It was a blue door with a glass window. And that door, when the kids were, not behaving, this was after Donnie came back.
Hey, 1 second, Jose. 1 second, Jose. I see you're having some feedback. Your mic may be, okay, there we go. Go ahead. Sorry, Jose.
Okay, so Donnie would always keep that blue door closed, and he would tell the kids, don't mess with the lock. We don't have the key for this door. Leave the door somewhat open. And it was basically, to keep the house warm and things like that. But if the kids did get out of hand, Donnie would send them in that room and close the doors to the front room and the door to that kitchen. And the kids would be in there, though they had TV and
Uh-oh, the call dropped. Hold on.
Wayland would usually sleep in the cellar in his parents' room on the couch, and he would fall asleep watching cartoons on TV.
Oh.
And I would be in the next room next door.
Okay, so why would Don put the kids in the room? Like, what?
If they disobeyed, didn't listen to what he said, he just would get so upset and start screaming and yelling at them, and go in the effing room. And that man, listening to him talk to you, it's like looking at two sides of a coin, because he talks to you one way, but when you see him behind closed doors, this is totally different, man. F-bomb out of his mouth, S this, like freely. It's like the F word is definitely a prime word in his vocabulary.
And the N word is definitely a prime word in his vocabulary. I think we have learned that. And now that he likes the whole shock factor. He likes shocking people. And now that he knows he can shock people with the N-word, he's going to keep saying it just because, you know, he is playing games and he thinks it's all a game. Yeah, I might have apologies to make to Candus someday. I don't know. We will have to see. But you know what? I think that she, at the very least, is, you know, she should have done something. But if she was a witness to this, to the essay and stuff, which it seems like she was, allegedly, then she, you know, obviously she should have done something about it. But I think if like something, like if she would go to court for something like that, and if it would come to like a jury trial, and I think if they did like a mental evaluation on her, I'm not sure that she even comprehends things. I think she's probably more like a teenager in her mind, and I don't mean that offensively at all. But I'm not a doctor either. So, but could that have something? Is that, you know, give her an excuse? I don't like to think so, but at the same time, I know that if she was, you know, she was learning disabled in any way, she'd probably be very naive, very easy to manipulate. And it sounds like she's dealt with and witnessed a lot of crazy things her whole life. So, I mean, her uncle was a RSO, like big time. Her sister went missing. I don't know how her childhood was, but she's, you know, dealt with addiction, and yeah, she's very, very codependent. Teenager would know what's wrong. You're right. Wasn't she abused by her? I want to say yes, but I don't know. I know he's definitely a sicko, like of the worst kind. Those boys are seeing how normal people live, getting medical and dental care, none of which they got from their parents. Don did act jealous because the boys have insurance and food now. Yeah. You know, do you know that has this, I'm not going to say any names, but somebody I was talking to yesterday was convinced, because Dawn was telling him this, that the boys, well, I took it like they were convinced. Maybe they don't believe it. Maybe they were just like telling me that this is what Dawn's saying to her. But supposedly he's using, like I said yesterday, using that whole CPS, or I'm the one that put the boys in CPS, so because it wasn't safe, so I put them in, you know, so that's odd. Why is he saying he's trying to say still, like it was like his decision? That is just about as crazy as him saying that DCS kidnapped his kids when he knows damn well why he can't see his boys. Come on. It's not dumb as many think she is, just plays stupid to avoid things. The common denominator is Candus and Grandis, if in their other family member missing and also vanished. Yeah, that's true. That is true. My eyes have always been on Candus and Grandis and then Donna afterwards. I know, mine too. Well, Candus and actually mine have always been on. I think Grandis is aware that this abuse was going on. I don't know if she's aware of what happened this summer, but obviously she has to be aware that something is not adding right up, because it totally is very obvious that Grandis was repeating a story in the one interview she did. Now we know why, Grandis didn't talk for so long, because she didn't want to lie, because obviously she is a bad liar, and it was very obvious. And I think that that's shitty. If her mom wasn't involved in any way, and it's just like covering or telling the story to cover for her daughter or protect her daughter in some way, I mean, that's not cool, but it's really shitty for Candus and Dawn to put her in that position to have to lie. But she, should have done the right thing, either way. I think that CPS was called when Candus dropped the DVP. Was that domestic violence? I don't know. They do that now. They contact CPS. Yeah, during those type of incidents. The most guilty person there avoids all contact with others. This Grandis, she is not fooling me one bit. I think it's because she doesn't want to lie. I seriously do. She doesn't want to get in trouble. They say Candus left the hill twice that night, and I think one of the times it was Grandis, the other time was Candus. Don Wells is a damn liar. DCS not still his boys.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Did Don go to church whenever you was there?
Did he go where?
Did he go to church?
No, he never went to church. Never. From the moment he would come home from work, he already had beer in him. So basically, you're driving drunk coming home from work, and then when he did buy food for the house, when he got there, it's basically stuff from Dollar General, Family Dollar things.
You mean the Dollar General down the road there where the
Oh yes, absolutely.
I've been
and it
there.
would be all junk food, like the chips, cupcakes, Twinkies, things like that. That's not food for children at all. I mean, it's snacks for them, yes.
Right.
But as far as real home cooked meals, that was not happening. Home cooked meals wasn't being cooked often until I entered the home, because I remember telling them, hey, I would like to cook something. And Candus and her mother looked at me like, wait, you know how to cook? I'm like, yeah, of course I do. I have 3 kids. I used to cook for them all the time. I love to cook. That's one of the things I enjoy doing for my children. So let me make something.
You guys, that's not true. I have to just speak up, because I witnessed them cooking. The one time I was there getting the puppy, Candus was making chili or spaghetti. It was either chili or spaghetti. Actually, I think it was Grandma Candy. Yeah. But they were cooking, so I think he might be I don't know. There was for some reason that Grandis wasn't allowed around the boys after the kids were gone. She speaks about making spaghetti all the time. Yeah, and it's cheap. Because after all this, she may be suspicious of them being involved with Rose too, right? Peas in a pod. Can you imagine? Yeah, if she is completely innocent of this, then I'm sure it'd be crazy to be in her head for a day or, an hour and wonder it must be, I don't know, it would be difficult, but I could totally see what Ziggy was saying about Candus and her learning disabilities and being totally stuck in an abusive, abusive relationship. And plus addiction. Those are two. Codependency and addiction are a double whammy. A lot of times it goes along with codependency. A lot of times goes along with addiction, especially with females, because, actually males too. Actually males too. I don't. Anyways, it kind of goes along with it because a lot of times when you dealing with addiction, you have to depend on somebody else, like 100%. Because you obviously can't take care of yourself. Not very well, at least. She didn't cook till Benny went there. Oh, really? Candace gave an alibi when I asked about Rose for the very first time on camera. Now, Betty, that comment isn't cool about the bros. No, what? What? Yeah, I mean, see, and that's the thing that I believe, because I was asking people yesterday with that call that we listened to, the 911 call, could that be enough to use in court? Like, because people were saying, oh, it needs to be turned in, needs to be turned in, but I'm sure, they have it. That's where Molly and them got this, was from law enforcement. Law enforcement has this call. Now, whether they heard this part, I would hope so. You know what? I hope somebody, an expert, like Chris McDonough finds somebody, a speech expert or somebody who can listen to that part in the call and see if they can figure out what is being said, see if there's a way to, I know there's experts in all kinds of stuff. Chris McDonough's always having like writing experts and stuff. So really, he should really get on that and see if they can figure out for sure what's being said. Because to me, it seems like PG got it right, but it would be nice to have an expert check it out. She was really making it, Kathy. Greatness and Candace both know exactly where they put Summer at. In my opinion, they both will go down to their graves before they tell the truth.
For them. And they sat there in amazement watching me cook. And as I'm cooking, I'm washing all these piles of dishes, and putting them away on the side. They didn't even have dish holders, everything was just laid out on top of a counter, dish on top of dish. The spoons were just laid out like that. But if you looked at the rest of the home, just things were scattered everywhere. It looked like she was in the process of moving, but she decided to stay.
What do you mean she decided to stay?
I don't know. She said she was gonna. She didn't want to be there alone with the kids anymore because Donnie was gone, and he shouldn't have left. He should have stayed. She didn't want to move to Utah. She specifically stressed that a lot. I don't want to move up there. I don't want to go up there. No. And I guess she was about to move because a lot of her stuff were still in boxes and scattered, and they were looking for things. It was a pretty big mess in there, and little by little, I would help them, clean up little by little. And the more consistent I got with it, the boys started to help me, Wayland and Wyatt. I would do the dishes, or Waylon would dry them, and Wyatt would put them up so they wouldn't break or anything. They started sweeping, when they returned back to school, and they would come home, they weren't even allowed to eat until they had to do their homework, which I feel that that's wrong, because the children eat at 11 in the morning and they're coming home at 3 from the bus, 3:30. Of course they're going to want to eat something small. They're hungry, they're young, they burn through that energy, and they couldn't even eat. They had to do their homework first before they ate. And even after their homework was done, it's dollar pizzas, or chips or cupcakes. I'm saying to myself, like, where's like turkey and cheese, tuna fish, maybe a can of spaghetti and meatballs, things like that. Not even that was there, and I could remember that when the first month that I was there, Allie would constantly, every single day, she would go to Walmart, all the way to Kingsport, to Walmart, and spend her little bit of money that she earns from her job, taken away from her children and giving it to Summer and the boys, because even she was eye to eye with me. These kids need to eat. Like, what's going on here? And it was just an incredible experience, you could say, an eye opener. It made me realize, wow, compared to these people, I'm a wonderful dad. Like, I cook, I clean, wash clothes. I've even done laundry for them, even, and they're amazed, because all they kept saying is, Donnie don't do things like that. Like, that man does not do anything.
Okay, in his defense, he works a lot. Okay, that's just that was not very well. I mean, I guess he was in Utah for a while, but didn't he work out there? She would go to the trailer when they talked to the boys. Is it true that she really couldn't be around the boys? I've heard rumors about that, but Billy Little to look at her case right now, though. He is on the D. Warner case. I don't know who Billy Little is. It's possible. It's possible an accident happened with the boys in the summer. I don't know. I feel like I'm surprised they didn't try to blame it on the boys, to be honest. I feel like that's how selfish they are. I mean, that's how selfish Dawn is. For sure. No, she can't just vanish off the face of the earth. Yeah, right. Why isn't anybody arrested for any type of neglect or anything? You've heard the name Billy Little? Sounds kind of familiar. An essay accident, yeah. I mean, well, listening to that phone call with Summer in the background, saying, somebody help me. It's so sad. And you know what's so creepy, guys? It is so creepy, guys. It is. I'm sorry to even say this. When you go back and listen to that 28-minute phone call or that 911 call, listen to like right before that happens, when Summer starts yelling that she's, for somebody to help her. You can hear Dawn in the background, like talking to Summer. Like, you can hear him saying Summer's name and like talking to her. So that extra creeps me out. Like, what was he trying to say to Summer? It just freaking creeps me the F out. And he was drunk, obviously. He thought he was going to jail. He is a sicko, dude. Was he trying? Oh my God. That is so gross, dude. Is he sitting there thinking, oh, I'm about to go to jail? Like, that is. Seriously, listen to that call back, the 911 call back, and listen to the background before it gets to the part about, where Summer's screaming for help. You hear Dawn in the background. I swear I hear him say Summer's name in the background, like he's talking to her. Big cover up because it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people involved. It's some kind of ring, I believe. The opposite, yeah, it might be true. Do I have the call with the words without the words on the screen? Yeah, I do. And actually, that one is enhanced too because she did enhance it a little bit to kind of so she could hear a little bit better. The original's on Molly Go Lightly's. I don't have it. So actually, I mean, no, I do not have it. Molly Golightly has it on her channel. It's in one of her lives. But it's in the title as like the 911 call. I'm told about Dawn Candus what they've said recently about CPS. Yep, I saw that. Yeah, about Dawn blaming DCS.
All he does is work, drink, come home. That's it.
Okay, could you tell us about when Dawn returned? How did all of that go down?
Well, basically, when he was coming back, I remember Candus was telling me that, oh, he's pissed. And, before he returned, I find it kind of strange that he said he didn't know who I was until he came home, because I had spoken with him on numerous occasions on the telephone while he was on his way back from Utah, and I thought everything was cool between us.
Mm-hmm.
He came home, he was calm, he didn't drink the first 2 days. Mm-hmm. On the second day that he was there, he got his old job back, was ready to return back to work, and next thing I know, he's back into work. A couple of days later, he gets paid, fills up his fridge full of all this frozen junk food and beer and liquor. And right away, it's to the drinking. Mm-hmm. And I remember a couple of times I would be downstairs, laying down about to pass out, and I hear them fighting upstairs. And it's not like a normal fight. It's a drunk fight between two drunk people.
Yeah, when you say pass out, you mean going to sleep, right? I just want to be clear.
Basically, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, but
you just got to be really clear on here.
At the time that he returned, I had started a part-time job, to earn a little extra money and things like that. So, it would be like almost 8 o'clock at night, 8:30 maybe, and they would be hammered, and I mean hammered. But they didn't look like they were hammered, but they were drunk. We were talking Black Velvet and a fifth of it, and they would always have a 12-pack of Mountain Dew under the table. And I clearly remember that because the minute the box opened a soda and Candus would crack it open, Summer would come running into the kitchen. Can I have soda? Can I have soda? And I'm like, baby, you don't want juice or water? And she would be like, no, I want soda. And they would just give it to her. And I would tell them, too much soda is not good for her.
Mm-hmm.
She's too little to be drinking that, but you could only say so much before you realize that what you're saying is going through one ear and out of the other.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And
so when did things turn after Dawn came back? And can you tell us about that?
About a week after he returned, things started to really deteriorate with me being there. He kept accusing Candus of sleeping with me while he was gone and things like that. When I finally saw the video that he was talking with the guy Chris from TIR, he was telling them that, oh yeah, she had this guy in the house, and he was gay or whatever. That's a bold-faced lie. I'm not gay. I'm nowhere near that.
Okay.
I am a straight man. I prefer women. That is my preference.
Right.
Period. And
that's a so you're saying where Candus and everyone said that you preferred men, that you actually are indeed straight.
Exactly. Correct.
Okay.
And I believe that they were telling him that to just ease tension so there wouldn't be like a severe conflict. But during the time that I was there helping them and stuff, they're realizing like, wow, this guy's here and he's renting from me. He's a good friend. helps my kids with homework. He cooks, he cleans. Like, who is this guy? You know, and it's nothing special. Like, there's many of men like me who do things like that. You know, this is what you're supposed to do. You know, these are your children. You want their well-being in your heart constantly. You know, you want to make sure they're fed, their clothes are clean, they have a proper bed to sleep in. You know, and I get emotional talking about that because I remember, you know, seeing them sleep on these couches, on the floor, you know, and it would bother me a lot, like a lot. And I'll be like, you know, like, what's going on? And it was always one finger's pointing the other. Oh, it's his fault. Or he would say, oh, it's her fault. You know, they just constantly kept blaming each other instead of just meeting each other in the middle, find common ground, and fix things together. It was always a constant conflict. Past was kept being thrown up on each other's faces, you know, and things like that. So,
So
about a week after, yeah, it started to get very heated. It was always about me, always. And, you know, my name just kept constantly flying out there. And one night they got so drunk. This was the week that I had left. They had gotten real drunk.
is this
And I remember,
is this the night where the police came?
yes,
Okay.
correct. And I remember that night very clearly because I was half asleep. I was literally half asleep, ready to, you know, go into Wonderland, as you would say. And all I could remember was hearing this loud banging thump noise, you know, like if someone hit the ground. And I remember jumping off the bed and running up those tiny steps, you know, and peeking out. And Candus is literally on top of Donnie. Like, don't you ever put a hand on me and things like that. And I'm like, what is going on? And she was telling me this asshole here is saying me and you doing something together. And I'm like, yo, we're not doing nothing. We never did anything, like, at all, at all. And he was like, I want you out of my house. And I said, I will leave this home when your wife tells me to leave this home because she's the one who is renting from me and she is the one who is helping me. You know, you were nowhere around, so you have no say so here at the moment, especially that you took your oldest son and you ditched the rest of your family. You know, if you could have moved to another state, pick up your entire family and go. Don't take one child and leave the wife with the rest because that was wrong. You know, and if Summer, as he said, is his world, she should have been the first one on that truck with him. You know, when
I'm wondering if, you know, Candus wouldn't let Summer go with Dawn. Is that part of the reason Dawn was, you know, Dawn went to Utah? I don't, you know, Allie said Candace and Jose was messing around. Well, the house goes to the son's own order as per his mom's will. So we have heard. I don't know how that works because Dawn's on the deed, so I think there is something about him not being able to sell the house. Because I think she was probably afraid that he would sell it for drugs. But they put it up for sale though, so that wouldn't make sense. Wasn't his father going to give Dawn his house if he would move there? I think that's what Mary was trying to say, that Dawn was wanting to get his dad's house, wasn't he? Yeah, I heard that too, Pete, but I wonder, I don't know.
he left to Utah, not leave her with Candus, and then leave Candus with barely any money. Candus will have to call him. I need money for food. I need, you know, money to pay the light and things like that. and she would be full-blown fights with him about that. And, eventually he would give in and send her a few dollars, and that was it. But it would be a full-blown fight just to get money from him, from Utah, so she could get whatever she needed for the house. So that night, after he got up and he's yelling at me, he's there drinking a beer. I don't remember what kind of beer it was. It was a brown bottle. And I started to tell him, once a cheater, always a cheater. You cheated on your wife while your wife is downstairs in the basement with your daughter, and you up here in this room where your sons are sleeping at, and you're having sex with some lady who uses drugs, and you're saying you're helping her. But yeah, I could imagine you're helping her. And I guess he didn't like the truth being told in his face, because he wound up throwing the beer bottle at me right in my face. And the beer bottle wound up breaking, and it chipped my front tooth. Mm-hmm. And I remember after that initial, hit, I literally, Grandis was in between us, and Candus was behind Grandis, like they were trying to keep us separated. Mm-hmm. And at that time, that's when Donnie just shoved Candus out of the way. And I started to approach him as he's coming towards me. And Grandis is still trying to keep us separated. But, I was already, so much anger was inside of me that he done threw this bottle at me, like, oh yeah, that's it. I'm done with this. And I wind up moving Grandis out of the way. I didn't shove her. I didn't do anything. I just pressed my chest up against her. And when she felt, my force, that's when she just moved out the way, because she knew right then and there fist was going to be flying. So as Donnie went to go and throw up his fist at me, I literally walked right up to his face. I had my hands in my pocket, and I had him balled up in a fist. And I said, I'm waiting. Throw it. Because you found the right one with me. Maybe other people are afraid or intimidated of you, but I'm not. I've dealt with people like you, growing up. And instead of him lunging at me, he started to step back and started to move back to get out of the home. And at that time, that's when Candus decided to call the police. And when she called the police, Donnie ran. He jumped in his truck. Mind you, he's drunk, He jumped in his truck and he drove away. That same night, maybe 20, 25 minutes later, the police wound up coming up the hill, and Donnie wasn't on the property at the time. And we were explaining to the police officer what had transpired there and stuff. And the police were like, do you happen to know where he went? And we were like, no. And next thing we know, Donnie's coming back up the hill in the truck. And that's when the police officers, proceeded to him, and they raised up their guns. They asked them to step forward in front of the vehicle. And that's when we were telling him he's drunk, like literally drunk. And so they gave him, I guess, whatever exam for a DUI, and in the police officer's eyes.
Don being gone, Andy and Jose seen the opportunity to take advantage of Candus and Summer. I think he was dealing with addiction, and yeah, he probably, I don't know if he was taking advantage of him, because I think he was paying, wasn't he? I hope to God he wasn't, I don't want to think about. I am concerned and kind of worried about the true reason why Jose and them came down there on the weirdest trip in history. Both signatures are needed. I sold some dummies of property. Yeah, I've been like, yeah, I just like collected the cash and bounced. And then they, Don comes back from Utah and's like, and finds people in his house. Through Clyda Trent, Karen's best friend. Yep. It's a quick sale through Don's mom to go to Donnie only through Clyda Trent. Yeah, it was obvious that she didn't trust Don. Wow, so that, yep. Yep, exactly. Clyda Trent did a quick claim deed to Don, too. I think they used H to get to them. To get to who, like, what do you mean by that, Danny?
I see past it. And then the police officer comes and says, well, you know, in my family, we have drunks and they're coherent. So he's probably a coherent drunk. I don't care what you say. When you're drunk, you're drunk. There's no coherence in that whatsoever. You know, you're under the influence completely. And then that's when Candus had told the police officer that he had a gun in the car. And he's a known felon. And the police officer's like, what? And that's when Donnie admitted that he did have the gun in there. And he tried to say it was a muzzleloader, but it wasn't. It was like a little 2-shot Dillinger that he had in his glove box, you know? And I'm saying to myself, this man came all the way from Utah with that gun in his glove box? Like, what do you need a gun for? And you a known felon, you know? Back in my past, I've been arrested, and I know for a fact I can't carry a firearm. If I do, that's a felony charge, and I'm going to prison for a long, long time. Right. So I know for him to be doing that, you have no respect at all for the law or anybody else, you know? And they basically arrested him and charged him, I guess, for domestic violence because Candus was just crying all over the place. They had this physical altercation, and then they were talking with me, and I was telling them about me and him with the altercation, and they asked, would you, we can't ask you to press charges because you basically don't have no physical wounds on you. And I'm looking at the police officer like, dude, look at my tooth. Like, he literally chipped my tooth. And that's not a physical altercation or not to be arrested after he threw the beer bottle at me, you know, and nothing really happened. They wind up taking him to jail for whatever happened between him and Candus.
Mm-hmm. How long did he stay in jail?
Not long, maybe 7 days, I think tops he was in there, I believe. Okay. And I remember Candus going down to the courthouse, and I was with her, her mother was with her, all the children, and she went in there, you know, and did the order of protection, and she had it, and she had to fill out some paperwork, and me and her mother had to help her fill out that paperwork. Mm-hmm. And then she went back in. I guess they gave it to her, and she came out, and I kept stressing to her, don't let him back in. This guy, something is wrong with him. Just from this altercation that I had with him, I know for a fact, this guy is brutal. This guy has no conscience whatsoever because you're physically abusive to a mother, a grandmother, that, like he admitted, she hated his guts. She had reason to hate this man's guts. You know, this man was violent.
If it's true that Dawn threw a kitten right in front of Summer to the dogs as if it was food, like they were thinking they were getting food and they tore that freaking kitten to pieces, if that is true, that is so unbelievably, like, sociopathic, beyond narcissist. Yeah, I really think he's sociopathic. If he can hurt animals, if that is true, then yeah. Pandrew, where's Pandrew come from? Is that from how he seems to be into pandas? Yeah, I don't know. Maliciously, I'm now I'm starting to, it's so weird. I'm starting to wonder, is it possible that it could just be Dawn and not Candus? Like Dawn and Jody Sue and Andy. And it's Candus covering for Dawn. Is that why she hasn't been talking much? Because he doesn't want her to slip and say anything wrong, you know? Andrew's brother sported the bill for the trip to Tennessee. Why? I mean, I hear the panda is some type of representation of, or tied to child essay. I know, Brandy, if you miss even a day, you miss, I mean, it's crazy. I'm just going to stay on for another, I'm trying to just do about an hour or so now. I still have a bunch of these dolls to list. And I have like a lot. Yeah, just a lot to do. Yeah, sickos is right.
He wasn't passive. He wasn't calm, you know, and to hear these videos say, oh, he's a calm man, you know, he fits this description. No, he's a calm man in public. You should see the man behind closed doors. That's a totally different person. It's like he switches, you know, like one day he's okay, and at nighttime it's like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde situation with him. You know, one point he's fine and calm and laughing it up, and in an instant he changes to, you know, to Jekyll, and he's raging and arguing and throwing things, and that's the type of man he is. And on a power trip, what he says must go, and everyone must listen, and he don't care who you are.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about the thing that they would do whenever the kids were sleeping.
The thing that
with the shaving,
Oh yes. There was times where it wasn't Donnie. This was before he came, but they would play pranks on the children, and while they would sleep, they would put shaving cream all over them while they were sleeping. You know, and I'm like, you know, at first I had laughed because I thought it was like a get back to the kids, because the kids did that to their mother one time, you know, and everybody in the house was laughing. It was funny, and the mom was laughing too. Candus was laughing about it, and she's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna get ya. I'm gonna get ya." But you know, the kids are sleeping, and they wind up doing it to the children, and it was like nothing. You know, I'll never forget that when Wyatt had woke up, he was crying because he got shaving cream in his eye, and he was like, "Why are you always doing that? You know, when I'm fully asleep, why you don't do that when I'm like half asleep or something?" And he was literally in tears because the shaving cream got into his eyes. It was things like that that really bothered me a lot, you know. And it wasn't until that altercation that I had with Donnie that he finally realized he's in front of a man who's not going to back down. I think he was the type of man that when he approached you, he tried to approach you because he's not a little man. This man is tall, you know, and I'm short compared to him, but I have a good size on me. You know, I can't say I can beat up everybody, but I can say I definitely can hold my own.
Right.
You know, I can, as well as I can give a hit, is as well as I can take it, you know? And I guess me standing up to him, you know, shattered his foundation, because that's when Candus and her mother really started to pull away from him, as you could say, and they started to see what I was speaking about him, you know, like he doesn't really love you.
Sorry, I was eating a sandwich. Thank you, ICU, for stopping by, and good job on this amazing interview. At least we were able to, you know, this is very, very important. So, yeah, I mean, I think people know that Jose might have exaggerated a little bit. You think she liked her? She is a trickster, but she's kind of like a kid herself, you know. Well, to hurt the kids. Well, there's that rumor about that, she would, pinch their private parts and stuff. I don't know if we haven't got absolute proof of that, but pinch and hit them in their private parts. I know. Did that change your opinion on him, ICU? What I mean is, has your opinion changed on Jose? Because I never looked at Jose with any type of. At first, I never ever looked at him with any type of. I didn't think he was sus, but I kind of wonder if he witnessed something and just felt so guilty about it. He seems like a decent guy. I think that it's exactly, I think it has to do with, like you said, he got clean and sober, and he was having to deal with his past. I think that's what I feel like. I don't know. I feel like he knew something or witnessed something. Before I met him, I thought he would have the gang persona. Couldn't have been more wrong. Right, maliciously. I don't know, peas in a pod. It's crazy. I don't know how people get that delusional. Besides a lifetime of enabling. That's why I'm wondering, ICU, is if he did know that there was SA in that household, and it had been eating him up, because he had talked about how he was recently clean, so he didn't have to deal with any of the pain. So it's almost like when he got clean and had to face like his past or whatever he knew. I don't know. You think he was unalived by someone? I know, Andrew does make me like that. Yeah. Right. 110 was just like a moment in his life. Well, I know he was bad he said he was dealing with addiction, so what's no one else unalive, Jose? What's that mean? Right, TBI. So do we know for a fact, do we have proof that is there an investigation being done? I mean, as in, like, they believe he was actually killed? Oh, okay. Okay. I think I'm getting what's going on now. It was an accident. Okay. Okay. I think, never mind. Sorry for prying. Okay. I get it now. Was Jose allowed to be around his own kids? I don't know. Do you know ICU? Health issues?
He's never going to change. He's going to keep doing the same thing. And, like, you really got to get away from this man. And I really didn't understand what kind of grip he had over her at all. But I can tell you that she was at the point where she had enough of him, And all it had to take were the right support people to be around to pull her away from him. And I feel I should have never left the way I did. That was another part of that video that bothered me as well, as he said that Grandis said that they kicked me out of that house. No, that's a bold-faced lie, because I stayed there 3 days after that altercation. I got paid for my job, and
Where were you working at?
I was working in a factory making cat towers, cat scratch and post towers. I don't remember the name of the company.
Okay.
And Grandis would take me to work in the morning, and she would pick me up. That's guaranteed. And I took my paycheck to leave. And the day that I was leaving, you know, they all thought I was returning to one particular job, you know, until the day that I left. And I told everyone goodbye. And Grandis was taking me. That's when I revealed to Grandis exactly where I was going. And she was shocked when I told her, you know, like, what the hell? I said, I have to get out of there. I can't take it no more. If she winds up bringing this man back and I'm there, I'm going to wind up going to prison for seriously hurting this man.
Right.
Because it was putting more emotional and mental stress on me. And I'm trying to get myself together. And, you know, it was just giving me basically PTSD, just flashbacks of my childhood and things like that. And I just had to get away from there. And, you know, Grandis is like, I understand, Jose, you know, thank you for everything. You know, you've been a great help, you know. And I was like, just please be careful. Don't let Candus let that man back in the house, please. And she said, I promise you, Jose, I will try my best. I would try my best, you know, to try to keep her away, but it's hard. It's very
where
hard.
Where did Grandis end up taking you?
She wound up taking me to Rock Hill, South Carolina.
South Carolina, not North Carolina.
No, South Carolina, Rock Hill.
Okay.
I actually had met someone online, and she had offered, you know, to help me, and me and her wind up getting into a relationship, you know, and I wind up staying with her, and that's where Grandis had taken.
Okay, so it was not North Carolina.
No, it was South Carolina. She had taken me, you know.
Okay.
So that's why, and just looking at these videos, I'm like, oh no, like I understand why everybody kept looking for me. You know, it like totally started to make sense. Like, yeah, I'm that missing piece that everyone's trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah. Jose, I actually didn't. I didn't mention this to you. People thought you were in the Philippines.
In the Philippines, no. No.
Yeah.
No, I was not in the Philippines.
Yeah.
I was literally, you could say I was within U.S. borders.
Yeah.
As you can say.
Yeah. Exactly.
I was in U.S. territory.
Yes.
You know, I was.
So it was an accident. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So he didn't unalive himself. Okay. Okay. That's definitely important to know. It's very important to know. Okay. When you say, ICU, that I didn't believe beyond a shadow of doubt everything he said. I have receipts from when he left Ben Hill. So you didn't believe him about everything? Has Andrew ever been interviewed by LE? I don't know. Does anybody know if Andrew has been interviewed? I mean, he needs to be questioned about that trip at the very least. She doesn't. Okay, so she doesn't. He didn't. I'm not able to. I haven't been able to watch a lot of other channels lately. ICU, so I didn't know. I know that Justin used to be like, he used to get kind of defensive about people saying things about Jose. And I can understand, because I get like that about Fred, but it's just because I'm so sure that Fred is, you know, being honest to the best of his knowledge. So that's why I get so, like, you know. You think it was Grandis in the background? Can you say where Jose was when y'all first found him? That's a good question. I think they did say where he was, didn't they? He said he was in New York, wasn't he? Or no, he wasn't. Yeah, he was in New York, right? Wasn't he? Andrew said he would tell you the truth about the trip if I cash app him $5. That's a good, yeah, that's a good point, GP. It's possible we're Summer.
Wasn't halfway across the world.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So you were saying that there was no walls in or doors, or was there walls in the bathroom?
No walls at all. It was literally open. And when I mean open, I mean someone could walk through the door and literally see you sitting on the toilet.
Mm.
And what they did was they took 2 dressers, and pretty long ones. They were female dressers, actually 6 drawer dressers, and they put one on top of the other, and they had a blanket covering it, and that's basically was the wall to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the stand-up shower was right next to the toilet, and then the sink was to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And then alongside that wall of the same room, that's where all the children's clothes were hanging up, you know, on in hangers and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, if one of the kids was to walk in there and you were on the toilet, the children can see you sitting on the toilet. There was nothing to cover you.
Okay, hold on. I'm sorry.
Did Don take showers with the kids, like to save hot water?
Yes, absolutely. I got into an altercation with him about that as well, because he had Summer in there with him. And I believe Summer was around 3 years old, almost 4 at this time. And I was saying to myself, you know, it's not a bathtub and you're not taking a bubble bath, you know? You're in a stand-up shower. You're a 50-something-year-old man, well above 6'2", and you have your young daughter that's pint-sized. That's because that's what I called her, because she was so tiny, you know? And I'm pretty sure that when she looked up at her dad, you know what was the first thing she was looking at. You know what I mean? And it was disgusting to me. And I literally flipped out on her. Like, you don't do that. I don't care if it's your daughter. She's a girl. Let her take a bath with her mother, not with you. You want to take a bath with the boys, it's fine. They have the same equipment as you. You know, only a man can teach a boy to be a man, and a woman can teach a girl to be a woman. You know, that's my belief in that situation. And when I got into the fight with him about that, he literally stopped having Summer in the shower with him, and it was only the boys. So I think he knew that if he was to try to do that again, I was definitely going to step into that situation again. And it was only going to escalate to be even worse, because...
You know, Danny, I kind of agree, because he said that Summer was 3, almost 4. Well, he wasn't there when Summer was 3. At least not if that was his first and only time there, and if he was only there for that was the first and only time, because that was in 2020. When Summer went missing, she was 5, right? So she would have been 4 years old. She turned 5 in February. So it is weird. I mean, but maybe, do you think that's odd that he said Summer was 3 going on 4? Or do you think that's just a not a big deal? Hey, always late. He was there in October, just before her 4th birthday. Well, they said she was 4 when she disappeared, right? They did mistake her age. You think he just got the age wrong? Well, yeah, it seems like he just right. I see you. That's pretty. I think that was pretty it seems like he meets people online and just like couch, like how you said he met this lady online and they had like this relationship. He met somebody online, like, so he had been talking to somebody while he was staying at Ben Hill, finding it was like his next place to stay or whatever. Yeah, she was little. We're doing good. Thank you. Always late. Things are getting better. So here we go.
That's disgusting. You don't do things like that. I have a daughter, and even though I went through problems with my children and my ex and stuff like that, I never took a bath with my daughter, ever.
No.
Ever. And with my sons, even when they would take baths and I would go into the bath to check on them, I wouldn't even pull the curtain to look at them. I would talk to them through the curtain, to give them that sense of security that I'm not going to invade your privacy while you're in there,
Mm-hmm.
and I deserve that same respect as well. And, and to look at my little girl and to think of her, never once have I ever taken a bath with my daughter. Never once. That thought never even crossed my mind, ever.
Mm-hmm.
So it really bothered me. It was a real bad, sickening feeling on what's been transpiring in that home well before I got there. Pieces started to, more pieces of the puzzle started to unravel, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, what's going on here? What's going on there? And it wasn't until Donnie got home that I actually started to see what this man was about, that I realized, oh, I see what type of man you are. You one of those that a woman's supposed to be home cooking and cleaning, and you're the only one who's supposed to command the household because you're bringing money into the house, and it should have never been like that at all.
Right. I mean, BB Diamond, that sounds like he was able to use like the internet up there. But he also said he had a job that Candus would drop him off in the morning. So I'm sure he was able to access internet from his job much easier. Live path phone call. Oh, what do you mean, kitty cat? I think that was a real question. I don't think she meant anything bad by that. Probably because of my live earlier, because of where I said I was going to go live again about, or I thought about maybe going live again and doing other zodiac signs. Maybe doing somebody's, if they knew maybe we should do that. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow afternoon. If somebody is willing to share their birth date and time of birth, and I could look up their horoscope and see what's in their chart. Way I could see if they're, what signs are most prominent. No, I know you weren't, but her comment got deleted. That's why. No, it's okay, Ava. Oh. Enchanted Life Path talking to PG? I didn't know there is such a thing. What was the phone call with Enchanted Life Path about? I can't play anything Enchanted Life Path here because he'll strike me for sure. It was something. Now you got me interested. I do have to get off here, but now I can listen. I listen to YouTube while usually I listen to like motivational videos and stuff like that while I'm listing products, but you might get me interested in whatever you're talking about. the 911 call that originally it was Molly Golightly and them that got the 911 call. His theory on what happened to Summer. Wait, so are you saying Enchanted Life Path was the one that did that video? Was the one that enhanced the video? He called into the same live. They paid for it. Molly Golightly and that crew. Got it from Carl on a live the other night. He was on her phone. So she didn't make that video. She didn't enhance that video. It was Carl that did it. I thought she said she did it. He called her to one of her lives. Okay, in the same live. Okay, I'm gonna have to listen to that. It's the 911 call from October 2020. But it's towards the end of the call where you hear Summer is what they were focusing on. I have to go, Sherry. I can't play it right now. I'm so sorry, but I'm gonna listen to it myself. Maybe we'll go over it tomorrow. She said she enhanced it some more. Oh, okay. I don't know. I mean, maybe I wonder if anybody even if they've even checked out that call could it have been missed? I don't know. Didn't seem like the 911 call or the 911 operator didn't seem to hear parts of it. And it was over 20 minutes into the call. And she was hearing, Dawn and Candus arguing in the background, drunk the whole call. And, and I'm guessing she just missed it. I don't know, but I don't know if law enforcement has really heard it. I don't know. I would think so. You think that's why Don went to Utah, not because of the oldest boy? Because CPS was called then, probably. Well, he didn't go to Utah after that October call. After the 911 call was when Don got back from Utah, a week after he got back. Jose was staying in the house and had been staying there for about a week. A week after Don got there. He had been there for some time before that. I don't know exactly how long. I want to say for a few months. Or you guys say let's see. He brought that up. How did you miss that little? I know, but I wonder if most people wouldn't go to think, oh, the child saying, is doing that because they are being SA'd or something. Nobody thinks like that. I mean, I don't, but I mean, maybe some of you guys do. Those who have experienced that before, maybe would recognize it. Actually, but you can hear it on the original. We listened to the original last night also during my live. If you go to Molly's and listen to the original when they purchased it, they did turn it to FBI. Okay, that's good. It's good to know because I was willing to email it if need be. Well, guys, I've got to go. Thanks for hanging out. I will be on tomorrow. Have a good Friday night. Ta-ta.